While I was searching through my games to find one to review, I saw with my big beautiful eye a game that once tortured me as a child. Its name? Super Magnetic Neo. It's only natural that I want to avenge my past self for spending so long trying to beat its impossible game. Let's cut to the chase and boot it up. Super Magnetic Neo is a tricky 3D platformer made by Genki and Crave Entertainment that implements the science of magnetic fields by having our main boy Neo generate a magnetic field to get through the levels, in which you have to output a south and north, which teaches you the simple things about magnets with colours to help you remember. Remember kids, red on blue, north on south, negative and positive attracts it, but red on red, north on north, yada yada yada, it gets repelled. So you can use that little knowledge to launch yourself from the platform, and also vice versa. You can even do it with enemies. You can attract them to turn them into a box that you can throw at the enemies, which is pretty much the only way you can actually attack things. And if they're spiky enemies, you'll probably need to repel them because they will kill you. This concept is really interesting and well implemented into the game, but the actual difficult part of the game is trying to remember that exact thing while trying to do platforming. And as the game progresses, your time frame for remember the key gets shorter and shorter every time. The story is actually pretty simple, and it's kind of funny since I had a completely different idea what the story was when I was a kid. Childhood ignorance. It's a normal day in Pow Pow Park with such attractions like the Jungle Place, Ancient World, Cowboy Location, and the Future Zone, all being really safe environments for all ages, until the Pinky Gang and Carl came over and took over the place, and they put their robots everywhere. So the professor activates his
latest and greatest invention, Super Magnetic Neo!
And he goes off to defeat the bad guys.
On my way to beat the bad guys! Hey, wait! You even know where you're going?
The controls are decent, especially with the Dreamcast controller, and the jump button is on the X button, so the red can be on red and blue be on blue. Man, isn't this a beautiful world we live in, Hajime?
No, that's wrong!
You can also run with the triggers, which is actually necessary for later levels. And that's pretty much it. Simple, right? Well, apart from trying to remember the key in the necessary time frame, the sprint button kinda feels clunky, but it might just be me and how I'm not used to the controls. But I feel like whenever I try to do a super ultra mega rad stunt, I just run off the edge because I don't have a chance to jump. Plus this robot forgets that he can just hold onto the edges like the asshole he is. Another cool thing about the platforming is that you can launch yourself from a thing just before it stops, just so you can get flung off and maybe get a reward or get further into the level. But it's a risk and reward thing, since most likely if you fail you will die. This game reminds me of something. The level HUD, the camera view, the items. I got it! It's just like Donald Duck's Quack Attack. Man, no wonder I was so confused. Ha ha ha. After 4 levels the door opens and you get a nice little story from Michael, and then you fight the boss which is in the story. So class, what did we learn? I don't know, but I want that banana milkshake now. The bosses give you 3 power pills that allow you to take a free hit. The first boss has a really simple strategy: to bite you 2 times then shoot bombs, while he sends out 2 badniks to come and get you, giving you the perfect way to attack. But if you're really skilled enough, you can do 2 attacks in the same turn, leading to a really quick and fast kill. And after the boss is defeated, it gives you lots of 1-ups and gold coins, which also gives you 1-ups. But some bosses like to give you them on the edge of cliffs. Not cool game. You can collect this credit card, and then when you get to the end of the stage you get a bonus room to test you on your skills, and if you collect all the coins you also get a 1-up. You're probably thinking to yourself, man, what an easy game this is. You have so many lives, there's no way you can get a game over in this game. You have a sick little mind. But you'd be right to think that, and wrong. It is very generous with its lives, but then you realise it's very easy to die since you die in 1 hit. Plus I noticed the checkpoints are right before an extremely tedious task, so then the next one will be much further away. So if you die, you have to do that very tedious thing again, and then pretty soon your lives will be going down faster than my controller. And once you exit the boss, you get another look into the Pinky Gang.
We must crush him before he does more damage! Ah!
Don't worry, boss. I have a cunning plan.
And then it's off to the ancient world, but before that you can go home and watch some TV. Never mind, let's just go. The first level of the ancient world even starts off with a vehicle section. I would really like this part if you didn't die from literally hitting everything, and then it takes 10 years to get started again. We finished the 4 levels and we're greeted by a new boss. Story.
Without warning, he pushed me to the ground and ordered me to remove myself from the property.
Oh jeez, I really want that milkshake. As said in the story, we're fighting Legos, and it's probably my favourite boss in the entire game because it turns into a hand, legs, and even a head. What more could you want? We go to the cowboy world, which includes the hardest driving section so far. It expects you to react like a god when moving left to right. Also, could someone please tell me how this part is part of the cowboy world? Thanks. This part of the level is exactly where I stopped playing as a kid. I always thought this part was the hardest in the game. Jeez, I'm glad I never got to the next world, I'll tell you what. And you can apparently use the memory card thingamadoodle to find secret items to put in your room, but since I don't really like using the VCM, I didn't really bother. Nice detail though. The music is really good, it matches the themes of the level as well, and hey, at least when you're throwing your controller in frustration, you can listen to some cool beats. But hold up, we get another story about a lonely cowboy, and there's also the next boss. And also, give me that milkshake! And so we head off to the final zone. The future. Yeah, all said and done, it's a pretty short game. I actually got through it in about 2.5 hours, deaths and all. The final zone's difficulty goes all the way up. I started around with like 50 lives or something, but ended up with like 8. The fact that you only die from one hit definitely makes you on edge, since if you die, you would have to go back to the checkpoint, which like I said before, is a very tedious point, which I kinda actually like. It gives you a reason, you know, not to game over, since you have to redo every tedious part all over again. The enemy variety is actually really good. I mean, look at these guys. Oh, that one's so cute. Oh, look at that one. Or how about Jesus Michael Joseph Apple? What the is that? I want a plushie of him, stat. We get the future boss, and it's a little hard, I'll tell you what. I'll try to do 2 hits in one phrase every time, but the guy throws the box somewhere else every time. He's like a pacifist or something. But actually, I think it's just my subconscious being scared of running off the edge and restarting. After it's defeated, we get a little cutscene of our cool and calm villains. And we head straight to the final boss fight, and let me tell you, Ginky, what the fuck? This boss is actually much easier than the last one, since it gives you 4 pills instead of 3, and the only hard part is at the very end, where it launches a surprise enemy at you. I mean, how are you supposed to see that coming on your first try? I mean, come on. And that's the end. It's time to see that spectacular ending that I've wanted all my childhood. Yeah, that seems about right. Replaying the game, I can fully take in the beautiful creative things in the world. No wonder I kept replaying as a kid. It was really fun to look at. The challenging part about the game was obviously remembering the key, and obviously some parts were too frustrating, to be honest, since you lose most of your lives for being expected to know exactly what happens and having godlike reflexes, and it's not as hard as I remember it. Well, I was a kid, but anyway, I'm gonna give Super Magnetic Neo 7 calendars out of 10. Thank you guys, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.
What? This isn't over yet? You're still here?